Hi everybody, it's Scott Smith in sunny Southern California. Got a 2025 BMW X1 xdrive28i for you today. And this one's codenamed U11. And check out that color. It's San Remo Metallic with the oyster black interior. So yeah, I've been really trying to find cars with some really unique colors. You know, we do love the silver, black, and gray, but out here in Southern Cal, we see so many of those. So whenever I see something that's a color we don't get that often, I really try to make a point, because I know some of you might be looking for your first or your 20th BMW, and you might want something a little different. I remember when I started with BMW in the late 90s, I started selling them. Boy, the dark green metallics, man, they were popular. I mean, we had a lot of 7 Series and 5 Series, and then the greens had seemed to disappear maybe in the mid-teens. You couldn't find a green to save your life. But BMW has really been bringing back some really cool colors. Obviously, there's some really bright colors. Like if you look at my previous video I just did a few days ago, we did a Thunder Night Metallic, aka Purple 2 Series. Really cool looking car, especially with that color. So let's get back to this one. So if you're looking more for an upright position, you know, seating wise, and you're really used to having SUVs, but you want something a little smaller, nimble, efficient, and you like having a lot of cargo space, and you want a car that'll definitely fit in the garage, this X1 is phenomenal. This is the xDrive version, so it's the all-wheel drive system. So I would really say this car is great for any conditions or anywhere that you live. You're living somewhere where you have long winters, a lot of snow. They've got a phenomenal all-wheel drive system in here from BMW. But let's get into some of the dimensions. This thing's 172 inches long, 72.6 inches wide, and 64.6 inches tall, and you've got a curb weight of 3750. You got a wheelbase of 106, and one thing that's really nice is you've got ground clearance over 8 inches in this vehicle. So that's what I was mentioning. If you like going camping, going off-road, fire roads, you want a little bit of clearance, not a lot of overhang either, great angles. You got 245 series tires on here. This particular one has the all seasons with the 19s, which I'll get into in just a minute. And then we have the beautiful B48 engine air, turbocharged 4-cylinder. I'll go over in just a second. Great horsepower, great torque. And we got the 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which is really a lot of fun performance-wise, but also there for efficiency. So let's get into these upgraded 19-inch wheels. These are the 19-inch Y-spoke bicolor wheels, style 867 with all seasons on it. Now you're running 19x8s all the way around with, like I said, a 245 series all season tire. I did live in Alaska for a while, so the vehicles we had up there back then, we would put, you know, studs on, basically tires with the little spikes, as some of you might not know. And we switched them out, you know, obviously for every winter, because we had winter for like, 8 months of the year. But I lived in Anchorage, and it was fun while we were there. But hey, let's get back to the car. Sorry about that. But this is the third generation X1. It was introduced in 2009, and it's a 5-passenger. And what we'll do now, let's go ahead and get Ashlyn out. We'll show you the power plant. Hi, Ashlyn. Doing great. You want to pull up that hood for me? All right, transverse engine. We've got a 2-liter 4-cylinder 16 valve with a single dual scroll turbo on here. Awesome engine, B48. You got 241 horsepower out of this baby at 4,500 RPMs, and you got 295 foot-pounds of torque kicking in at a low 1,500 RPMs. And then this car has a 0 to 60 through BMW at 6.2 seconds. All right, let's close this up. Let's follow Ashlyn. We'll head back here. Now we're going to try to go over the sticker here on the window. It does have factory tinted glass, being an SUV category. So we are going to get some reflection. Watch out for that glare off my bald head. Let's see if we can get this bad boy to focus. All right, looks like it's doing a lot better in my previous phone. Ashlyn, do you want to tell us a little bit about it? Looks like we're doing good.
Yeah.
You want to come over?
Yeah, this is the 2025 BMW X1 xdrive28i. This is the manufactured price right here. And this is the color San Remo Green Metallic. I just love this color. It has the technology package, Apple CarPlay, all these included things right here. And the most impressive part here is the eucalyptus open poured find woo. Now, Scott, have you ever heard of find woo before?
I have not. Woo, what could that be, BMW?
I guess we'll
is
just
this
have
the first
to show you.
Yes, they're gonna have to see that. Okay, sorry. As you can see, the camera is having issues with the paper behind the glass. So, but I didn't really want to tear this off. But Ashlyn, if you could scoot your hand down just a little bit right there, we'll see if it'll focus. There's your suggested retail price with all these options. So hopefully, if you're looking to read everything, we can get some focusing and you can reverse and fast forward and try to look at all the stuff in here. BMW's really done a nice job, I'd say, in the last few years of really putting a lot of stuff standard in some of the least expensive vehicles that they have. They're really trying to pack a lot of value, things that you would see in other cars, maybe not in this type of segment. So there's your gas mileage. You got a 14.3 gallon tank, and you're looking at an average of 28. You're looking at city and highway 24 and 33. And there's your final assembly plant right up there in Germany. So cool. Enough of all the blurriness there. We'll get Ashlyn over here in the back seat. Let's get my camera back over here. There we go. All right, so how you fitting?
Great.
Feels
I'm
good?
5'8", 5'9", so having this much leg room is really important to me.
Yeah, so she didn't move the seat after being up front. So that's one thing about it. People are, considering, hey, my family size is 6 foot, 5'6", 5'7", got kids depending on the age. But then also check out the moonroof, or what should we call this, Ashlyn?
Sunroof?
The panoramic.
Panoramic.
Yeah, I always have an issue with that word, don't I? It's 10 square feet of surface space. Look how big that sucker is. But it's really cool sitting in the back. Now, the front section does open and go back, and then it also pops up as a vent. And then you do have a full power shade for that. But also, so pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I have a lot of room up above my head here.
Perfect. A lot of space. And then what we'll do, let's slide on over to the door. So I got a 24-ounce water bottle there. So as you can see, fits easy. So they really did a nice job. We'll show you more cup holders in a minute. You do have some storage space for snacks on the drive. And then, like I mentioned before, obviously the glass is factory tint. So it's actually in the glass. A lot of aftermarket, as you know, is on the inside. You can get scratched, kids playing around, whatever. So it's definitely the way to go. So Ashlyn, let's go ahead and go to the back.
All right. How to open this is just a one push.
Yeah, just a sensor. Yeah, you got the full. So if we go down here, Ashlyn's just going to show us underneath the floor. So you have your space saver spare, and there is a little bit more storage in here. There is places to throw some things in case you want to throw an emergency kit, snacks, hide a present for somebody, whatever. You can put it underneath the floor. And then we'll have Ashlyn. She's going to remove the cargo cover really quick, and we're just going to lay it down because I really want to show you all this cargo space. Now you have over 25 cubic feet of storage back here before we put the seats down, and then BMW's done a really nice 40-20-40, which Ashlyn's going to show you. So this way, you got 4 passengers, you're heading to the ski hill, you're all skiers, snowboards, maybe you don't have everything on the outside of the car, at least you can try stacking it right down the middle. Got that. And then we'll have Ashlyn drop her side. I'm going to come over and help over here. Okay, so she's dropping that one down. And there's just these little straps that'll release them, and you can drop them down really quick. But let me go back here so you can see that you got over 47 cubic feet of storage back here. So even if you're throwing away stuff, getting rid of stuff in the garage, you can really pile a lot of stuff in this back. Or if you're helping somebody move, at least you've got a car with some decent space. Now, there was some cool features we wanted to show you also that BMW is thinking about with these. So we'll have Ashlyn pull it up. But check this out. Okay, so as you can see, it's virtually like almost 90 degrees. Now that's not going to be too comfortable to sit on, but let's say you needed a little bit more space in the back, but you didn't want all of it. You still needed a barrier to keep stuff maybe from rolling around. And then you've got that position, and then you've got the complete relaxed position there for maybe driving on long trips, take a nap, and the headrests do fold up. So BMW's really tried to adapt it to any type of situations you might be in. And then I'll pull this one up, and then I'll pull the strap. There we go. And then Ashlyn can show us the middle features of that one with the cup holders.
Is there a nice cup holder?
Yeah, so you can see you've got that for maybe a coffee or something else, small drinks. And then obviously, like we showed you earlier, you got some great big cup holders and storage for snacks and water bottles on the side. And then Ashlyn up there, she's grabbing the third seat belt, the 3-point seat belt for the middle occupant. So it's really nice, really easy to connect and disconnect, but at least you can get it completely out of the way if you just want to use this whole back area for storage.
Yeah.
All right, Ashlyn, so we'll meet you up in the front seat. Let's go ahead and go over. You can see also, even though this isn't a huge vehicle, they do put some air conditioning, cooling vents in the back, and also charging ports back here. All right, and I do like how they have the two-tone look with the Oyster, because yes, it is a very light interior, but obviously where most of your dirt and stuff's going to be, as you can see, the flooring's black, so at least that way you have black floor mats. All right, let's head back over here. And you can see the door handles have got nice and flush with the car. So they've really worked on that. The coefficient of drag on this is a 0.27. And being in an SUV, SAV category, that's pretty awesome. They did a really nice job. Okay. Oh yeah.
Water?
So yeah, thanks. I know it's warm out here today. So you can see they've also made it pretty easy for decent sized water bottles in the front, but also something I was going to show you. You see that button up there? I'll move the door a little closer for Ashlyn, but go ahead. So we'll see. Is it going? There it goes. So it warns you back there, and you can close, but as you see how it stopped is because Ashlyn let go of the button. So God forbid somebody goes running in there to throw something in, or you didn't see somebody, you let go of that button, that door is instantly gonna stop. So at least hopefully it doesn't bump into anything or anybody. So thank you very much, BMW. Made it easy for us with the rear hatch. Obviously there's buttons back there to close it. So now we'll go over the driver's seat. And what I noticed too, because Ashlyn's, you know, pretty much almost 5'9", and then she's got, what kind of shoes are those? You would say like a they're not a high heel, but like a wedge. Yeah, which is probably another, what, 3 inches, 4 inches?
Sure.
So she's pretty tall, but I was surprising to see how low this seat goes. And then you can see how she sits in here. You know, she's in a very neutral position. She almost looks like she's small in the car, but now look, she's just floating up. So that seat is really adjustable. So whatever height you might be, it goes really low, and then you can see how high up she is now. So they really are adjustable. And they've got great hamstring support. They've got a good length here on the seats, as you can see across here. And there's cross stitching
and an
there.
Adjustable wheel up.
Yeah, and it's manual, and it goes in and out, up and down, so pretty easy. I know some people like power, but really it's very easy. And obviously longevity wise in any vehicle, you know, the less electronic moving parts you have, the better if you want it to last 50 years. I'm just kidding. But yes, also the seat here. Now you can adjust that front section up. So if you want more of an angle for a little bit more hamstring support, so it helps not pull on the lower back. And then for long drives, you know, get tight and sore. So pretty easy, basic controls. And then you have your lumbar support in and out, up and down. Okay, so let's go. And then over here on the door, you got your seat memory, unlock and lock, and then all the basic stuff here with the windows, lockout, auto, you know, with your folding mirrors, more storage. So great. So then what we'll do is let's look at the steering wheel. Yeah, BMWs, most of the steering wheels now have gotten a nice thickness to them, so they're a lot grippier. And then the material, I know a lot of them are leather, and I think we might have a few that are synthetic. And then we'll show there's all the controls and everything there for you. And then you can see the instrument cluster in there. That's going to be a 10.25 inch screen there, and this is the curved display by BMW, and then you've got a 10.7 inch screen there, and it's all blended together under one piece. Perfect. I'll go over on the other side, Ashley. There we go. Let me give you another shot from the outside here, just a little walk around. Yeah, we had the first generation. My wife drove it. We had an S-Drive, rear wheel, two-wheel drive. Man, that thing was peppy and fun. Trying to remember, it was the dark blue. It might have been the Orient blue. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it back then. But man, what a fun, nimble car. And wow, everything has changed, especially in these models here. I think since 2023 with the upgrade, they really have upgraded a lot of the technology awareness packages, technology type packages in here. So you really aren't missing a whole lot that you could get in a car almost twice the price of this in the lineup. There's so much available, but also one thing I'd mentioned in that previous video about the 2 Series just a few days ago is there's a lot of standard equipment in these cars now. So BMW is really trying to pack a lot of value, and then there isn't, you know, a million things you have to add to the base price to finally get where you need to be like it was, you know, in the past. They've really done a nice job. So let's get inside.
Hello again.
Okay. I guess the first thing we want to show them, huh?
Is the woo, right?
Yes, is the woo.
So this is like kind of a wooden finish. It doesn't have that shine on it, so it's kind of more of a porous matte finish.
Very cool. I wanted to get up close just so you can really see it, since I'm filming in 4K Ultra at 60 frames a minute.
So there's also this
60 frames a second, I think it is, right? Yeah.
A little light in between here, kind of for that sporty look.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we can change the colors. But yeah, you can really see it. So it's nice. You know, most stuff's usually a high polish, clear coat you have on it, which a lot of fingerprints can show up, as you can see also right here, maybe on the silver trim. But this wood's kind of nice because it's less reflection points, gives it a little bit more of a natural look, especially when you're looking at the outside. You look at the oyster interior, it's kind of more of an earthy combination. And they've done a nice job with the synthetic dash material with the contrast stitching to kind of give it more of that exclusive luxury type of look that we would see, you know, started back in the day with like the 7 Series with the full leather dashes and options like that. So they've really brought a lot of nice kind of luxury touches in here. But also, let's go back. So you've got it in my modes, and since it's red, it's in the sport mode.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right, huh? And then you have your personal, and then you have your efficiency.
What does this one look like?
Oh yeah, that looks cool. All right, look at that.
Another natural look.
Little psychedelic. Whoa, what's this over here? Digital art. Pretty cool. Yeah, perfect. That is wild. Hit the digital art.
Wow.
That is cool. Let's get some flavor in here. That is awesome.
But let's go back to sport mode.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then here we can hit on the squares. Then you can go over to all your apps. One thing to mention really quick is you'd want to download the BMW app. You would have your app account, your BMW account, registered account that you would get and you know, activate when you get your BMW. And then there's a lot more you'd be able to do when you have that account. Especially the voice command system is really cool. There's a lot you can do there without having to touch things. But you can see here, you can go to different categories really quick. But that home screen is really cool because they really tailored it towards the driver with your quick connect features here with the iDrive 9, as you can see. So these can be customized, quick things that the driver can get to. But like I said, you activate that account, get the app, get everything set up, you can talk to the car while you're driving. So I know it is more something that we have to get used to, some of the older generations like myself, but as the younger ones, you know, they talk to everything. Why type anymore, huh?
Seriously. So this is my second favorite part of the car. It has kind of like a levitated center console, and then just a more private kind of
a little bit of storage there. Huh? But underneath, like you mentioned, let me open the door up really quick. I just want to get a better shot to really show people how much space is down here, because they really have given you a lot of space underneath. You know, and we do sometimes like to carry a lot of stuff, especially road trips, going places.
Put your chip bag down there.
That's right. That is right. And then a nice option they did too with the wireless charging is they did it kind of like a display shelf here. So you can see your phone goes behind this clip and then holds it in place. But if alerts or something might come up, at least it's something you could look at as a split second. Obviously you're looking away from the road, which we do not want you to do, but at least your phone is facing up if you want. Obviously cup holders, and you got more charging, 12 volt. And here is the key design, or I shouldn't say key, but the fob. Lightweight too, so it's nice. I back in the day had a few that, man, they were pretty heavy. So BMW has really done a nice job on lightening these things up. So at least you don't have one side of your shorts being pulled down by some heavy key.
Just a quick mention, Scott. What am I feeling in this seat here? Is that kind of a massage kind of thing?
Is that what
do
you have?
Call that? Yeah,
oh,
I don't know how that went on,
have
but
some,
it feels pretty good.
So
here.
maybe you might have the active seats on. That would be cool with the lumbar support. Yeah, BMW.
Great.
It's nice, huh? So it's, you know, kind of like a massaging, but I don't know if we can use that.
Like for long drives.
That's very cool.
Really nice.
Yeah, and I've noticed that included with the lumbar support feature, because in some cars in the past you could add the lumbar, or it was included in a premium package, but it's kind of nice now. It's an individual, but it's got that active seat function. Yeah. So yeah, like you said, it's kind of like got a little bit of rolling. Maybe. That's true, huh? But yeah, let's show them the screen again. Very nice. Let's just give you kind of a walk around of the cabin up here, but I wanted to show you all that sunlight coming in. Now it's factory tinted glass up there too. And then can you go ahead and do the button, Ashlyn, right there? Just push it forward. Yeah, or now that vents it, which is good, but push it forward. Yeah, hit it this way, forward. There we go, no problem. And then this way you can just see the shade. That way it's just a power rolling cloth shade, but it is pretty dense. So
yeah,
you're not
basically blackout.
Yeah, you're not really gonna get, as you can see, yeah, I don't really see any light coming in on this one. I know with the 2 Series, there was just a smidge of light, but now, yeah, as you can see here in the X1, maybe they just wanted to make sure that with that size and all that sunlight that could come in, they wanted to make sure they gave you a blackout rolling shade. Very cool. Okay, I guess this is the fun part of the video, huh?
My favorite.
Ashlyn's gonna launch it. Okay, so let's go over here. I want to thank everybody. Oh, hold on. We got to ask Ashlyn something. Where are we going to follow you at?
Okay, so I just made a new Instagram for the BMW account. It's going to be at BMW_Ashlyn. Ashlyn spelled ASHLYNN.
Awesome, cool. So you have some follower there, okay? And I wanted to thank you all for watching, especially if you've been watching this long. And if you can, help me out. Share the video on your other media sources, Facebook. Have some fun. Put it on Beamer Post. All right, let's watch this little X1 launch. Let's get ready here. I think she's waiting for me. I'll give her the thumbs up. Awesome, not too bad with that B48 engine, 241 horsepower, but also that great torque that you get, 295 foot-pounds of torque. It's such a great car. You know, it's not massive. You can really see the space in there, the height of it. So it's really great for those winter states or active lifestyle. You guys want to go off-road? This car is definitely very capable. Very, very cool. All right, let's go back to the dealership. Bob Smith BMW. How was that?
That was great. I think it's using the most that it can with being an SUV. It's super efficient.
Yeah.
A lot of pep in that. So
okay, let's go.
Let's launch it.
Nice. And a good size, and it's got a good size gas tank too. You're looking at 14.3 gallons. So when you start to look at maybe 33 miles per gallon, you know, and you got 14 gallons, you can get a decent distance out of it before you have to fill up. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's a nice 740i. Very
electric series.
Very nice. Or yeah, they do make one for that, which is very cool.
All right, let's do it.
And I like, and with, the SUV, you have that different seating position. The dash is lower, you're kind of more up compared to being kind of sunk down into a sedan or a convertible. This is a little bit more upright, so the visibility is phenomenal in these. And I think we do have some towing capabilities too. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but if you are looking to wanting to tow jet skis or really small boats, or maybe a trailer with all kinds of toys on it, mountain bikes, things like that, BMW has a huge array of great accessories for the X1 too. Roof racks, you could put a tow hitch and then have a bike rack on the back of that. So yeah, there's a lot available if you head over to, I think, bmwaccessories.com, or if you go through bmwusa.com, I know there'll be a link there to go to the accessories if you're thinking about getting some cool stuff for your car. How you doing over there?
Great, super comfortable.
It is, isn't it? Now, the car does come with a 4-year, 50,000-mile factory warranty. We also have a maintenance package included. There is a few other warranties are there. If you go over to BMW USA, you'll be able to pull them up and read them. But here we're going to be pulling up. This is the 101 freeway right over here to my right, and we're just right here, basically right in Calabasas, California, and we've got Bob Smith BMW and Mini Cooper. So you've got your full service department, which is open on Saturdays. We'll head back over to that. They got a great CPO pre-owned inventory. You can check it on the website, or please just drive by, swing on in, come see Scott, come see Justin, come see Andy. Yeah, just swing on in and come in. And they've got great test routes out here, test drive routes, just because we're outside the city a little bit. So you've really got some great roads. All right, let's get another shot out here of the car. Say bye to Ashlyn. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. But here you get a nice shot of the color. We'll see you later, Ashlyn.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.